To enhance protection in South Africa, the country's Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is taking advantage of modern technology to provide solutions to prolonged animal disease outbreaks in the country. In 2022, 6 out of the 9, provinces in the country first reported foot and mouth disease outbreaks, which resulted to severe impacts on the country's livestock sector. Now, thus prompting the government to team up with concerned stakeholders to initiate remedial measures. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The past 3 years have been quite challenging for South Africa's livestock and poultry industries because of the spread of animal diseases. Throughout this period, these industries have experienced various cases of foot and mouth disease in cattle and avian influenza in poultry. Over 200,000 chickens died from bird flu in at least 60 separate outbreaks across the country. This resulted in millions of rands lost in the industry. In 2022, 6 of South Africa's 9 provinces reported foot and mouth disease outbreaks. This was the first time in the country's history that the disease had spread so wide. Such challenges prompted the government and industry stakeholders to look for solutions. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research believes it has found one.
The technology that we launched here allows point-of-care diagnosis, meaning we can detect the disease at the point of its occurrence in the field, and we can take very rapid action in order to contain the disease and to minimize the damage. So cutting-edge technology is absolutely vital for the work that we're doing here. The technology that we have here is rapid acting in the sense that it is able to detect and quantify and identify uniquely the type of pathogen that we have. And then it is in the power of that ability to quickly detect that empowers the farmers to really take action to control the disease.
The technology will address sudden outbreaks of these diseases on farms, thus preventing them from spreading further. It was produced in conjunction with Toka Bio, a company that specializes in developing diagnostic platforms for infectious disease detection on the African continent.
Currently, what you have is that whenever you have a problem, the animals, you have to take the samples and then take those samples to the lab. Once the lab is ready, they give the results. Sometimes that takes so long that the disease itself is spreading. But with our current technology, we literally take the laboratory to the animals rather than the other way around. This is why we call it point of care. Then you can take the samples, you can process them in the field, and the data itself sits within a database that later on we can access to share with the ministries that are relevant.
During the outbreaks of the diseases, the cost was not only felt through the loss of livestock and poultry, but also through reduced exports to the world market.
I'll give you an example using beef as an example. Over 40% of cattle in South Africa belong to smallholder farmers. And about 55 to 60% of the animals belong to commercial farmers. South Africa makes between 12 and 14 billion rand in foreign direct income. You can imagine that if we inserted the 40% that's from the smallholder farmers, we could easily make 20 billion rand a year for South Africa. What's the problem? The problem is that to service the smallholder farmer using technology is still not accessible yet. But with the technology we've developed, it makes it easier for us to move to any corner of South Africa and be able to service those that currently are not serviced like they should be. So these kinds of technologies and development are required for us to move forward as a country.
The CSIR says it hopes it can provide the product at an affordable cost to farmers.